Hey, it's a sad day because my all-time favorite author, Tom Wolfe, died. And Tom Wolfe was the creator of one of my favorite books of all time, Bonfire, the Vanities. Actually, two of them were some of my favorite books. Bonfire, the Vanities, and Man in Full. Um, both Bonfire, the Vanities, and Man in Full had one thing in common: the interplay of rich white folks with poor black folks, and in different ways. It seemed like Wolfe, who I never had the opportunity to meet, had this obsession with showing this kind of urban life. At the time I read Bonfire of the Vanities, I came away thinking it was actually one of the best books on urban planning I ever read in my entire life, and I still believe that. Why? Because it talked about how Sherman McCoy and his work as a bond trader and the life that he built for himself shielded himself from the other reality of New York, which included poor black folks that he had some weird stereotypical ideas of, but was, because of what he did, forced to share life with them. A fascinating story, a fascinating construct in how a person changed. The only sad story about Bonfire of the Vanities was the movie. I haven't seen the movie, and I probably just should see it, starring one of my favorite actors, Tom Hanks, by the same name, that was written as a comedy. And it had Tom Hanks and Meg Ryan. I didn't watch it because Bonfire of the Vanities wasn't written to be funny. It was satire, sure, but there was nothing truly hilarious about the story or the book or the prose. Again, it was a fascinating study in urban planning. Man in Full, very similar. Just as with Bonfire of the Vanities, I came away feeling as if I knew New York, and I hadn't at that point, as an adult, had an opportunity to visit New York. I did. I've been tons of times since, of course. I read Man in Full, having never visited Atlanta, but came away feeling as if I was part of Atlanta. I'd been to Buckhead, and if you will, got the, once again, there's that word, interplay between the dynamic, rich, white real estate industry culture that really does exist here, because I'm in Atlanta suburban area now, and those who are poor and African American, but also very much involved in sports and athletics. That, and then also the kind of interracial relationship around which the whole book was built. You have to read it. I'm trying not to give away what Man in Full was about. Great works. What both have in common is Tom Wolfe's amazing attention to urban detail. Not just how people talk, but how buildings are laid out, where people go, where they hang out, what they wear, what they dress. The feel. The only representation of city life missing from a Tom Wolfe book, either Bonfire of the Vanities or Man in Full, is how the city smells. That's it. Everything else is there. It's great. If you haven't had an occasion to read either book or both, please stop what you're doing, carve out some time. I know it's hard today, but definitely really read Bonfire of the Vanities. You got to read that. If you say, hey, which one should I read first? Or which one should I pick if I have to choose between one or the other? Pick Bonfire of the Vanities. It's an awesome work and wonder. Tom Wolfe lived a full life, 88 years old. He's never gone to me as far as I'm concerned.